ng reactor. Yun. Takip lang to, takip.
Mark,
Hi.
I feel something. This feels similar to the tour of the AP1000
Nandito
in
dati
Georgia.
yung emergency diesel generators na kung makita mo ngayon, nahugot na dito ng napakor nung dinesisyon ng i-mothball to. So, ito isang long lead time item, no? Kung talagang paandarin natin to, dapat ma-order na yan, no? Gusto kong ipuntiriya na itong mismong gitna ng kalsada 18 meters above sea level. Mas mataas ng konting generator room, no? Sa Fukushima, it was 6 meters above sea level, and they put the generators in a base. Unod lahat yan, naging swimming pool yung generator site, di na makaandar. Yun ang nag-create ng problema. Itong 18 meters above sea level, kung tatama dito ang kaparehong tsunami na tumama sa Fukushima, ni hindi ito mababasa. So, immune ito sa tsunami. Kasi nga pinili ang Napot Point dahil dati dapat bagak to. Ngunit may tsunaming tumama sa Mindanao nung pinaplano pa to. Kaya naisip ng gobyerno nung panahon na yon, ilipat sa mas mataas na lugar. Ito na yon. So, kasama ko, inimbita ko si Mark Nelson. Mark Nelson, isang environmentalistang nuclear engineer na masters from Cambridge University, environmentalistang ipinaglalaban ang nuclear sa buong mundo. So siya po ang guest speaker ng Alpas Pinas sa aming taon-taon na Stand Up for Nuclear event na nagaganap sa buong mundo, sa iba-ibang syudad ng buong mundo. Mark, wanna say a few words?
Sure. I have to admit that before I came to this site, I found it difficult to understand what Congressman Mark was so obsessed about. Just an old nuclear plant. Look, I'm sure so many things are wrong. I'm sure we could start from the beginning in a new location, no history, no baggage, all from scratch. Now that I'm actually here, I understand. I finally understand what you mean. Here it is.
It's built.
It's here.
Yeah. All we need to do is commission this.
Right.
And it only takes 4 to 5 years to get this plant running. And we're in the middle of a electricity price crisis.
It's not just that. As an American engineer, I come here and I see the drawings on the wall, the images, and I associate it with a time when even my country knew how to build things like this. Our capabilities have almost completely collapsed. The difficulty in building our new nuclear plant in Georgia is because basic skills were not maintained.
We're here at the beginning of the nuclear plant or any thermal plant you can go to, whether geothermal, coal, gas. Start with water treatment. We deionize the water so that it's free of all minerals that could plug up the steam generators. We are in the non-nuclear side of the plant, called the balance of plant. There's nothing radioactive here. The turbine that generates electricity, that spins the generator to generate electricity, is on top of us. What you see there, the green big thing there, is the condenser. So that's a saltwater condenser. The tubes inside are made of titanium. I want you to notice the quality of the piping, the wiring. If you go to any industrial facility in the Philippines, you will never find this quality of design, workmanship, and the way they workmanship and the way they put. Look at how everything in order is. Malinis na malinis, no? Pati yung mga alambre. Look at the cable trays. There's no plants in the Philippines that are this neat. And this is by regulation. So, this is following US NRC guidelines. This is the boundary of the balance of plant with the nuclear island. So, there's a radiation sensor there. All people going in and out are scanned for any radioactive. If I'm wearing a t-shirt and I go inside there, right? I cannot bring that t-shirt out anymore. I have to call my t-shirt now low-level nuclear waste, right? Whether it's radioactive or not, the rules are, once I bring something in there, when it comes out, no, it's like booties, socks, everything, it's low-level nuclear waste. That's why there's a laundry in there, right? So what's in there is in there. You don't bring it back. Once it gets out of there, it's low-level nuclear waste, whether it's contaminated or not. Notice how thick the brackets are of everything, even just a simple pipe, because this structure is built to a 0.4G seismic design basis. To give you a comparison, Fukushima was only built to a 0.18G. So this is much more stringent. And notice the walls. There's no hollow blocks here. It's all buhos. Everything here is poured concrete. Look at that piping, the electrical. Very neat, right? Everything has a bed. This is the electrical control room of everything inside the nuclear island. There's two. There's one in the other room. And that wall is a firewall, right? They have to run at the same time. If anything here breaks, right, it's redundant. But under the rules of nuclear, if anything here breaks, they have to shut down the plant and fix it first and have at least two running before they can restart. So although it can run with just one, it's never allowed to run with just one. You need the two always. If you're on the outside, it's the dome, containment dome. That's part of the containment dome. I'll ask you to notice the gap. In 1986, when the media was here criticizing this plant, they were saying that that's a defect, that's a big crack. But it's actually a gap between the containment and this part of the plant, so that when there's an earthquake, it can move. It's really designed so that it can move. Fukushima lessons learned, if we just apply the changes over the years.
So speaking of Fukushima Daiichi, I was talking to CNN yesterday and they wanted to know why would the Philippines not have a problem like Fukushima Daiichi? It's all Pacific Rim, there are earthquakes, there are volcanoes, there are typhoons.
Yeah.
And I had to make the point that Fukushima Daiichi that event should have never occurred.
Yeah.
But because it did occur, it changes the future afterwards.
Yeah.
And the way it changes the future for the other Pacific Rim volcano nuclear plants is that everybody has that event at the top of their mind forever. Forever. It will never be forgotten among us nuclear engineers. It doesn't matter that it didn't kill anyone from radiation. It doesn't matter that it didn't injure anyone from radiation. It was still a humiliating failure, not just in Japan, but for all nuclear engineers in the whole world, in my opinion. But since that time, 11 years ago, every nuclear plant in the world has been changed, altered, has been increased in its security, its backup.
Yeah.
And here's the important thing. We don't know what sort of scary catastrophe is going to confront this nuclear plant when it operates in the future, but it doesn't matter because the preparations you do for a violent earthquake, tsunami, and widespread disaster like Fukushima Daiichi experienced, that preparation is going to make you tough for almost anything. Let me give you an example. Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant in the Ukraine has 6 reactors, pretty similar to this one, a little bit larger, 6 in a row. It was captured in war and kept operating as war destroyed many things all over it. War damaged the grid and they kept the plant going. War damaged the plant itself and they kept all the cores safe and cooled and even restored the plant to operation and took it down and restored it to operation and took it down, all the while making it possible for that country to feed, house, and power its population during one of the worst things that can happen to any country, an invasive war, right? Part of the reason